B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East coast to the west, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
What's up, B-boys and B-girls? Tonight, we have a new roundtable episode, and we're going to talk about an MC who I've always felt does not get the respect he deserves. I'm going to get up on my soapbox multiple times tonight. Some called him soft for making fun music, but he's a real MC in my mind. Tonight, we're going to West Philadelphia to discuss the top DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince / Will Smith songs. Whether it was the Fresh Prince era or Will Smith era, they all are eligible for the list. Joining me tonight, first off, I got Riplak, my man, the Hurricane.
What's up, y'all?
And as always, Raven Hunter. I'm going to start at number 10, and I'm actually going to go to a Will Smith album. 1997, the first time he used his real name in a rap album, Big Willie style, which doesn't age very well, the name of the album. But I'm going with the song Don't Say Nothing, because just like I said in the intro, people talk about how he's soft, just making fun music, and this is kind of a response to that, and people who diss him. He's like, if you don't say nothing, I won't. He talks about all the ways. This is an MC song right here, I thought. And even though it's from an album that has huge hits like Miami and Getting Jiggy With It, and Just the Two of Us was another big hit, this one always stood out. And it was actually produced by DJ Jazzy Jeff. It's a dope beat. I just always kind of liked it. It was kind of like a Will Smith version of Middle Finger to All the Haters. So Don't Say Nothing, Big Willie style. Riplak, what do you got at number 10?
Number 10, I have Just Rockin'. I love the griminess and the beat. Yeah, I don't know. I just like that.
Nah, debut album. That's when the world first heard him.
Yeah, I love that song because that was the first time I actually heard him being grimy. Like, just like he had more like anger and aggression, and not anger, but just like aggression in his voice with how he came with the beat.
It was almost like he could get up and slap someone, right?
Maybe.
Kane, what do you got at number 10?
I got You Saw My Blinker off Home Base. I had to put this one on because everyone was shocked to hear him, cuss and make a song that wasn't, positive or nice or, anything like that. It was, like you said, maybe he was foreshadowing slapping people back then. And then I was wondering, is it a true story? I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find anything if it was, because he gives he gives dates and everything, like October the 4th when I got my day in court. Like, oh, maybe this actually happened, but I didn't see anything about it.
And it's actually really, you listen to it again, and he's like, pissed at his girlfriend and said, touch me again and I'll break your wrist. I mean, he's talking about beating his woman and shit. And this is the Fresh Prince. It's crazy. You're right. It shocked everyone. It was like, what the hell? But we all loved it. Right. I mean, we all loved it. It was on my honorable mentions, and in parentheses, I put, this was my number 11. It pained me not to put it on. I'm glad you did. You saw my blinker, bitch. Raven, what do you got at number 10?
So number 10, I wanted to get one of those like cheesy songs out of the way, but I think it was like 98, 99. Millennium was the album, yes. But on the Wild Wild West soundtrack, of course, Wild Wild West, that fucking beat was everywhere. Like I couldn't go anywhere that summer without hearing Wild Wild West. And I think Jodeci maybe was in it, or Cisco, somebody else was in that. I can't recall maybe? Right offhand. I know Kool Moe Dee makes a little appearance in that song. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I always liked that song as kind of cheesy and Puff Daddy sounding as that song was, you know what I mean? That beat was just everywhere. You couldn't help but hear it,
It was huge. The movie was kind of whack, but I liked that song, the Wild Wild West thing. We're at number 9, and I'm going to go to maybe my favorite album. I'd have to debate it, but it's 1 or 2 for me. Brings me back to my childhood. 1988. He's the DJ. I'm the rapper. Classic album. And I'm going with the song Nightmare on My Street. Now, I'm like 10 years old when this comes out. I'm a huge, obviously, hip hop head, but I loved horror movies, and Elm Street was my favorite. So the marriage of rap music and horror movie that I loved was great. I was all about it. And this was the third single. I mean, all the singles were hitting on here. And this was an era where Freddy Krueger slash Elm Street was really in his prime, if you call it that. I mean, he was a huge pop icon in pop culture. It's a great story. I think it kind of follows the events of Elm Street Part 2, but the end is so dope when he's calling Jeff, telling him not to fall asleep. They did such a great job with that. It's so damn funny. But I wanted to talk about the video. Now, when I went back and watched it, they must not have had when we're done, you gotta watch this video because it's not Freddy in it. It's this blue monster who kind of looks like Max Headroom. They must not have had the copyright to use actual Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
If you would mute it and didn't know what it was, you would never guess that it was about Freddy Krueger in Elm Street. It's really fucking weird. It's like a blue, it's weird as hell. And I had kind of forgotten about it until I went back and watched the video again. So I thought that was kind of funny. They must not have got the okay to use actual Freddy Krueger. That'd have been dope if Freddy himself was in it. But doesn't take away from the song "Nightmare on My Street."
I was wondering where you would put that on your list because I remember you playing that all the time back in the day.
Oh, I love that song. I mean, like we're going to talk about over and over, such a great storyteller. Such a great storyteller.
Yeah.
All right, Riplak, number 9. What do you got?
Number 9 off home base, I have I'm All That. I love kind of the cocky vibe in it. And I mean, it's going to start getting more like personal and nostalgic as I go farther up the list, you know, from like 5 to 1. But for now, they're just the songs that I love, the beat and the way, and just the style, I guess, the delivery and all that shit.
And that starts the album off. That was on my honorable mentions. I like that song too. He's got a lot of good album starters, especially in the Fresh Prince era. I'm glad that got brought up. That was an honorable mention because I'm all that. All right, Kane, what do you got at 9?
Just Cruising. I think it's off the Men in Black soundtrack.
It is. It is.
This song, like, you know, brings me back to the days where I would just get in my car and grab my book of 200 CDs or whatever, put it on the passenger seat and do exactly that. Just drive, get high and drive and drive and drive and like fill up with gas wherever I was and turn around, drive back, like, and just cruising and, you know, bump that song. It was something that I could really relate to at that time.
Yeah, it was on the Men in Black soundtrack. That was on my honorable mentions too. So you guys are getting them off. That's great. I like it when ones that didn't make my list get brought up. But that is a dope beat. It's the perfect type of song if you are just cruising. It makes a lot of sense. Good pick. Number 9, Raven Hunter. What do you got?
I went with, it's kind of a cheat song, I think. The Icon Reggaeton remix from 2018 from Jaden Smith with Nicky Jam and Will Smith. It has a really short verse. It's a dope verse. And I just remember in 2018 when that came out, I kind of lost my shit that he was recording again. It had been so long since I had heard Will Smith on anything. He's like, chilling, tequila. Then we made some Icon children. Like, just the way he flows is really good. And then he breaks out into Spanish, which was pretty dope too. So I went with Icon. Like I said, kind of a cheat since he's not in the song a lot, but I just really love the song.
All right, number 8. We talked about it before. I'll bring it up now. 1999, right before the Y2K was going to kill everyone. The Millennium was about to hit us in 1999. And I'm going with the song I'm Coming, which is the first song, similar to All That, sets it off. There's actually a lot of songs I like from this album, but I only had room for one off this album. And it was either this or Da Butter featuring Little Kim, which is a weird person to feature on a Will Smith album. But I really like it's emceeing. The beat always gets me hype. And the third verse, I love. He absolutely kills it. The third verse always pops me. And this is a great example of it blows my mind when people say Will Smith can't rap or he isn't real hip hop. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what real hip hop is because this is hip hop. So I'm coming. The Millennium, number 8. Riplak, what do you got at 8?
I got Here We Go Again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I love breakdowns like that when they actually don't matter if they got words in the hook or not. Like, I love how it rides right up into it and just drops. That's the hardcore punk days in me, where like you get the breakdowns and shit.
Yeah, another honorable mention. All right, Kane, what do you got at number 8?
I got Parents Just Don't Understand. Just because everybody can relate to that. My kids can relate to that. My kids as kids will be able to relate to that. And just going through everything that, oh, she bought me the bell bottom Brady Bunch trousers or whatever. And, just all that stuff. Your parents buying you stuff that you're going to get made fun of in school, and it's stealing your mom's Porsche and driving it like that. What, you don't
It's
understand why I'm driving your Porsche?
it's timeless because for hundreds of years before, kids thought their parents didn't understand, and 100 years in the future, they'll think their parents don't understand. It's timeless. What do you got, Raven, at number 8?
1991 Home Base. I went with Summertime because it's the epitome of a fuck summer song. And I just really like
Oh,
those types of. It reminds me of riding around Ocean City with my windows down, smoking a joint, just have fun, sun down. You know what I mean? Summertime takes me back every time I hear it. Even when I was visiting, and I listened to every single fucking Will Smith song in the past 4 weeks. Summertime still stands out to me. It's just one of them tracks.
it ages perfectly. It's still, that's another one I'm sure the rest of us will bring up in the future. But
It's got that like Ice Cube, Good Day.
right,
It's just one of the songs that doesn't get old.
no, it sounds like it could have been made yesterday. All right, gets us to number 7. And I'm going with the most underrated Fresh Prince album, in my humble opinion, 1993's Code Red. Similar to Millennium, only one song off of this could make it. There's so many I like. It was hard not to put Boom Shake the Room because that's a guilty pleasure song for me. But I'm going with Ain't No Place Like Home. This is an on the real type song, but I just always loved it. It samples Lottie Dottie in the hook. It's a reminisce song. He's missing home. He's thinking about, going back for Thanksgiving with his, grandparents and parents. And this song just kind of hits my soul. It gets me in a calm mood. I had to pick it. It just was always a personal favorite. Not one many people ever talk about, wasn't a single. It just makes me reminisce. It's a good song if you're drunk or high, because then you'll start loving everyone. But I got Ain't No Place Like Home. Number 7, Riplak, what is your number 7?
I picked Men in Black mainly because stuck around forever, and I wasn't big into mainstream, but it was really catchy.
It's catchy as hell. Even now, I mean, I probably heard that song 5,000 songs, and I'll still rap along to it if I hear it.
I mean, it went along with a good movie, so.
Men in Black, number 7. What do you got, Kane?
I got the same thing, Men in Black. I had to put this song on there because, to be a star in a movie that big and then to put out a song that big that still today, like you said, can be played and everybody knows the words. Everybody has a little bounce to him when he says bounce with me. Like it's a classic song, and he just his range of what he can do from starring in a hit movie to putting out a hit song. It's just awesome.
Number 7, what do you got, Raven?
I have this street mix of Boom Shake the Room from '93's Code Red. Because that fucking song, I guess, guilty pleasure, like you said. I don't know. Will's got like this deep inflection in his voice in that song. He's trying to be hard, and the beat was pretty hard for a Jazzy Jeff beat back in them days. So I just always really like that song. Yeah, it's a total cop out song or whatever, but it just always worked.
And what I loved the third verse, the stuttering verse. I thought that
Yeah,
was
definitely.
creative as hell. The Prince is who I am. That song is another one. I will get hype even if I hear it every day for the rest of my life. Just it's impossible not to get hype. And that was an honorable mention. So I'm glad it made it. Which brings us to number 6. I'm going back, Will Smith. The last Will Smith album we got was in 2005. It was called Lost and Found. And I think this might be his best. I think it is his best Will Smith era album. There's so many good ones. But again, it caught my feelings like the Home Sweet Home. I'm going with Tell Me Why featuring Mary J. Blige. The first verse, he's talking about 9/11, his kids asking him questions, were there people in the buildings? The second verse is really dope. The passion. I mean, they bleep it, but he even says fucking it or what he would have been if it wasn't bleeped. Because he's just so angry or wondering why things are so fucked up. And it's Mary J. Blige on the hook. I mean, I'm not big into R&B, but Mary J. Blige is one of the best singers ever, in my humble opinion. She sings the hook and she's harmonizing in the background while he's rapping in the verses. So I got Tell Me Why from Lost and Found. That's my 6. What do you got, Riplak, at 6?
I think I can beat Mike Tyson. Just goofy, back then it was Tyson in his prime. Just they made that goofy ass video with it. Just another storytelling one.
And unlike Nightmare on My Street, they actually had the real Mike Tyson in that video. I can picture Tyson after he knocks him out, he's dancing in the ring like.
Yeah. That's just another aspect of Will Smith just being the entertainer.
Kane, what do you got at number 6?
I got It's All Good off of Big Willie Style. Real positive song. The line that always sticks out to me, he's like, my check has so many zeros, it's like, ooh, like I was like, yeah, that's dope. Like, well, it's just, everything he talks about is real positive. It's a real feel good song.
All right, number 6, Raven Hunter, what do you got?
I stayed in 91 for You Saw My Blinker Bitch. The story of that is just excellent, and I always love the beat. And even over summertime, You Saw My Blinker always stood out. And I think it's because he cursed for the first time, and it was just like, oh shit.
Right.
It was just a fun song. And like you said, talking about like beating the shit out of his girlfriend and just shit you would not usually hear Will Smith talk about. So I kind of fucked with that song hard back in the day.
Yeah, he got gangsta on us for a little bit. It didn't come out again for another 30 years, but it's still in him, obviously. We're halfway through. I'm going back to 1988's. He's the DJ. I'm the rapper. And I'm going with Parents Just Don't Understand. This is probably his second most famous song. I know we talked about it before, but like you said, it's timeless, absolutely timeless. And this is, if you said, picture a Will Smith music video, this would always be. He's in that room with all the graffiti on the wall and floor. It's so iconic. And the second verse where he steals the Porsche might be one of his best storytelling verses ever. It had to make top 5 just because the iconicness of it. Parents will never understand. Riplak, what do you got at 5?
As sick as I can get of this song, I picked the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. Because I mean that show, I've like literally haven't seen a bad episode of that show, and I mean so the theme song always gets me no matter what. And I mean it's a whole song, but everybody knows the stupid beginning that everybody always sings. It gets annoying, but at the same time, it's a damn good song though.
I put that on honorable mentions. I was wondering if someone would put that on because it is. I mean, you can't say West Philadelphia to anyone in the Western world and they're going to say born and raised on the playground. I mean, everybody knows it, at least within a certain age range. I'm kind of glad it made someone's list. But you're right, there is a longer version that didn't air. I think it only aired on the debut episode, the longer version, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. But there's a longer version with more words. Yeah, there's a whole song. Yeah. But it's catchy. If you played it right now, I'd rap along to it. So I guess that's what catchy music is supposed to do. All right, 5, Kane, what do you got?
I got Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble.
Betty's not ready yet.
Yeah, right. Just another great storytelling song, and another one that all of us I'm sure could relate to.
Yeah,
All of
I
us I'm
can.
sure have a story like what he was talking about. Like, you know, 10 o'clock we had Ben missed the show. She comes downstairs and says, "Let's
Let's
go."
go.
Go where? Like,
Put to
right,
sleep, I'm gone.
right.
Such a dope song from Rock the House.
Yeah, and that album, like when I was growing up, I had to like have my friends, dub tapes for me because I couldn't have the tape because my mom would be like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, it's parental advisory. Like you can't be listening to that." But Rock the House,
You
I
could
didn't have
have.
any parental advisory, so I played in my room. I wore that thing out.
All right, Raven, what do you got at 5?
I went to 2005's Lost and Found, and I went with Mr. Nice Guy. It's a really bad Eminem diss, but I like the beats, and it's some of Will's better flowing. Like
Mhm.
his flows definitely got better as he got older, and I think he especially his first verse when he's going off on Eminem and Wendy
You're
Williams
right.
and
He
shit.
kind of goes
He's just got a
fast.
really nice
Yeah.
bouncy flow.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, and you don't hear that from him.
Mhm.
So I definitely had to get Mr. Nice Guy on here. I don't love the like people dissing Will sat on a wall like Humpty Dumpty shit
You're
at the
right.
end,
You're
but I
right.
like the song.
That was on my honorable mentions. All right, number 4, Kane. We're on the same wavelength. I go to 87's Rock the House. Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. And I think I can't prove it, but I believe that this song is the first song I ever heard from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. I could be wrong. I can't prove it, but I think so. It samples the I Dream a Genie song, which on paper doesn't seem like that should work, but somehow it does. How they decided to sample that, I will never know. And I kind of think Rock the House kind of gets forgotten. People automatically think he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Then they kind of go right to home base. There's some good tracks on here. But like you said, great storytelling. But that's my number 4. Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. Riplak, what do you got at 4?
I got that too. Girls ain't nothing but
Uh,
trouble. Like I kind of like there's like I said, there's like 4 or 5 on here for sure. I thought everyone would have, and like my top 4 are the ones that always made me think of them. Like right when I think of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, that's it. Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble was awesome when I was a kid.
And it was another iconic video. I can picture that video too. Just the funny videos to go along with the, funny storytelling. Number 4, Kane, what made your list?
Miami off of Big Willie Style. I had to put this one on there because
I figured.
yeah, I grew up there, and just the way he describes it is, it brings me back. Sunshine and palm trees and the ocean, and yeah, it had to make the list.
What do you got at number 4, Raven?
I went with Men in Black. It's a little high, but same reason. It's just catchy as fuck. One of those just feel good songs. And Will, like, even going back, I noticed he always kind of perfected the female harmonizing, female choruses, like Miami, Get Jiggy With. They all have those female choruses and female vocals harmonizing. And I don't know, it just always filled his songs out. I think like that really added to his style. And Men in Black was just another good example of that shit with that really catchy female chorus. And
All right, number 3, top 3 were there. I'm going back for the third time to 1988. He's the DJ. I'm the rapper. And I'm going with Brand New Funk. For those who think Will Smith doesn't have skills, pause the podcast, come back to it, but pause the podcast, go listen to this song. And if you say he's not a talented MC, you're just lying and just hating to hate. And this is in 1988. I mean, he's lyrical as hell on this song. I mean, out of the ordinary, it's rather extraordinary. So Buster's commentary, he's just kills this song, and he proves that he's an MC's MC. He can do it. And dope beat with dope scratching and mixing from Jeff, a DJ who probably doesn't even get enough love from hardcore hip hop heads. You know, they're going to talk about the Primos and all these people who deserve to be talked about. But Jazzy Jeff, his skills as a DJ, I mean, are in the upper echelon. He's amazing. And it's just a definition of an MC, which Will Smith is a real MC. Brand New Funk, number 3. Riplak, what do you got at 3?
I know you guys want to hear about the Eagles right now, but I think didn't DJ Jazzy Jeff play like halftime at the championship game or something? And then Jalen Hurst walked up to him and did that handshake that Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff did on there.
From Bel Air?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Jalen Hurts, man. Anyway, so my number 3, I really want to put it at number 1. It's hurting my head a little bit, but I think Summertime. But it is my number 3 because my first 2 I think I liked a lot longer. But Summertime, definitely a sick ass song that just never dies out, man. So good. It makes you want to go to the beach and just chill. And
number 3, Kane, what do you got?
I got I'm looking for the one off of Code Red. I love the vibe of the song. I love the homemade video. You know, you were talking about the videos. That one, he starts out, they got, their own camcorder, and he's like, we're gonna go see a friend. He got a boat, and it's about them driving there and just clowning and just having a good time while they're making this feel good video, this feel good song.
That was on my honorable mentions because I think that's such an underrated song. I really like the vibe. It's a feel good song. I'm glad it made someone's list. What was number 3 for you, Raven?
I went back to 2005's Lost and Found for the song Lost and Found. I really love that song. I love that beat. Like, why the hell should I sound like y'all? Like, I just love, like, it's just him, like, I'm doing what I'm doing, so leave my name out your mouth, keep my name out your mouth. Yeah. Respect, you know what I mean? I like that shit.
That whole album, it kind of had that vibe. Like, that might be his, I don't want to say hard, but his hardest album. I mean, he was really, coming at him like, that whole album is really dope. But the title track, Lost and Found.
Even Switch, like even that single, like, yeah, it's just every song was kind of hard on that shit.
All right, top 2. And I'm going to 1989's And in This Corner, an album that disappointed me when it came out because I think it kind of was his worst album under the Fresh Prince era. But the song, I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson, just love this song. When this came out, I thought this was the coolest story ever told because that's what people do, sit around. Yeah, I could beat him. You just talk shit. It's what friends sitting around would do. I just love this story. I know I've said it a few times, but another classic music video. This one has Tyson in it. And it's just a funny song that's a personal favorite. If I had to pick a personal favorite, this might be it. What's your number 2, Riplak?
I have Nightmare on My Street. I loved it. Obviously, I loved horror movies when I was a kid too. I had other things to say about this too. Just kind of like, just it aligned with a lot of like the kind of dumb songs like Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice and Nightmare on My Street, and then the Addams Family by Hammer, just dumbass shit like that. It kind of all like that's kind of the vibe of the songs I liked when I was little. So Nightmare on My Street made it pretty high on my list just because of that.
No, it's classic to me. And that's why it's on, I think all of our lists. Maybe one of us didn't, but it made mine, which is the list that really counts. Kane, what do you got at number 2?
I got just the 2 of us. Just being a dad and listening to this song and being like, yeah, the drive home from the hospital, like y'all driving too fast, like slow down, like, and him going through and teaching the kid, all these different things. And then at the end, his kid's like, how much am I getting paid for this? Like, that's so much of being a parent. Like, you do all these things, and the kid's like, so what do I get? Like, you're like,
Right.
I just did all this shit for you.
Right. It was on my honorable mentions. You're right. When my daughter was born, I was afraid that everything was going to hurt her. Like if family members were holding her, I was all freaking, people
Right,
driving fast. So
right.
you can relate so much. And if you're a parent, you really can relate to that song. That's why it didn't make my list, but it was an honorable mention. But great vibe, great sample. I'm glad that made someone's list. Raven, what is your number two?
Nightmare on My Street.
It did make
1988
all my
Nightmare on
list.
My Street. Yeah, I had to. That beat was so well done. Probably 5,500 horrorcore rappers have tried to do the same thing and haven't been able to succeed since 1988. So Jeff did his fucking thing on that. It's a great story. I forgot all about the video, so it's actually funny you brought that up. I'm gonna have to refresh my mind on that. But I remember me and my brother laughing at that shit back in the day. Because by '88, I was already, I'd already seen Nightmare on Elm Street 50 times. So
Right.
I remember that just geeking us out. Now that you've reminded me of that, but yeah, that beat still, I could probably do something and be cliche as fuck to this day on that beat. So
You're right. And that's something no one else brought up, the beat. I mean, it was really, really well done. Classic. That's why it made all of our lists, which brings us to number one. I just had to be honest with myself. I had to be able to look in the mirror, not lie to my listeners. The best Will Smith Fresh Prince song is from 1991's Home Base, Summertime. I just couldn't not pick it. It's probably the best summer song any genre ever released. I mean, nothing says summer like this song. Holds up 32 years later. Like we talked about, the beat is amazing. The laid back flow goes with the beat. You cannot hear this and not nod your head. Another video I can picture every scene from. Album has a lot of dope songs, but Summertime is just the greatest. What was your number one, Riplak?
Now you make me feel better about saying I should have put Summertime at one because someone agreed. But Parents Just Don't Understand is my number one. And because they didn't, just like
No.
you said. I don't know why. So I didn't have kids. I don't want to not understand. So that song taught me to not have kids. And now
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, like for real though, that song though, yeah, that's gotta be my number one, man. Like just as a kid when that came out is fucking awesome.
It's really genius because it really is, like we've said over and over, it's so timeless. For the rest of eternity, a child will always think that their parent doesn't know what it's like to be a kid. It's just a timeless subject matter.
Yeah.
Kane, what was your number one?
I'm gonna make you feel even better, Riplak. Summertime,
Time.
number one. Like it's been said a bunch of times now, it's timeless. It's when you think about summer, you think about this song. The the way he just describes it, going to the barbecue and then, getting the car washed and honking at the honey with light eyes and like just all these summertime things. It's just in the video too. It's the videos that they made at that era. They weren't super serious in the video. They're clowning
Right.
around. Like I remember the scene in the summertime video where they have like their head and their body on the like split
Each
screen.
other, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like walking different ways and shit, just
Mhm.
doing dumb shit. It's a great vibe to a song.
Like I said, it had to be number one for me. But not for Raven. What was your number one?
man, y'all got me feeling bad that I put Summertime so fucking low now. So if we could just like chop that and move it, but no. I think number one was Joyner Lucas featuring Will Smith, the 2020 remix of Will. Joyner doesn't do anything but the chorus in the remix. It's all Will Smith. And it's just him being humble at the song and the circumstances of his life and his family. And it's just such a real verse. And some of the better flowing and the way he plays with his words in that verse are just so really Like when I think about if Will Smith being an MC, I think about that song. Like you could just tell that Joyner doing that meant a lot to Will, and Will goes fucking in on that beat. So if you're not overly familiar with the Will remix, I suggest that shit. It's one of my favorite verses from Will Smith ever.
And I believe the story is Joyner Lucas put that song out, and then Will reached out to him, kind of like you said, was humbled that he made that song about him. Because the Joyner Lucas version is super dope too. It's a great song.
Oh yeah, I love Joyner. He's very underrated anyway.
Right.
But when the remix came out, I was just like, I like hearing Will come back. He doesn't do it enough, so that when he comes back, like I ran out and I bought fucking Lost and Found the day it came out because he was putting out a new album, even though that was like 05 or whatever. I would do it tomorrow. If you said Will Smith's new album came out tomorrow, I'd run up to FYE and see if they had it.
Absolutely. He needs to put out a new album. Someone get on that. Someone get at Will. Tell him we need a new album. You know, I always said if I won Powerball, I would pay Ice-T to make a new album. Even if I won Powerball, I might not have enough to pay Will Smith to make an album.
Yeah, right.
But I'd at least offer it to him, right?
Right.
All right, that's our list. As always, honorable mentions. If I had one that didn't make my list and was not brought up by anyone else here, I just want to show it some love. I'm going in chronological order. Honorable mentions that didn't get brought up is Charlie Mack, First Out the Limo. Who Stole the DJ Off of Home Base is a cool story. A Little Something Like This is the first song on Code Red. It's kind of got that I'm All That vibe. The song Code Red, where his girlfriend catches him cheating, and when she calls him, he acts like he's asleep. That one almost made my list. Freaking It from Millennium. The Butter from Millennium featuring Lil Kim, which seems like, you know, she's the most raunchy female MC, that shouldn't go together. And then off of Lost and Found, Here He Comes, which is the first track. And I Wish I Made That, I thought was kind of a cool song too. So those are my honorable mentions. Are we missing anything? Or have we covered his career pretty well tonight?
I'm really surprised you brought up The Butter, because
That's a
that
dope
was on
song.
mine. I didn't think anybody would have that song. That was on my list.
Someone say Ring My Bell.
No, you're right. That was the second single.
Damn.
Yeah. Another classic sample. Well, another successful roundtable. We'll see y'all next time. Thank you for joining us.
Boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed.